Do you see a $1,500 difference between these images? Because one of them is shot on a $1,700 mirrorless camera setup, and the other, well, it's shot on a newly released $200 webcam. So this is Elgato's brand new Facecam 4K, and aside from looking like a piece of tech straight out of a Pixar movie, I think the image quality speaks for itself. It can capture 4K 60 for that buttery smooth movement, or 4K 30 with HDR enabled, basically making sure that like the lights behind you don't get all blown out and you have more true to life colors. And speaking of color, in Camera Hub you have DSLR-like level of control with options like shutter speed, ISO, and even temperature, so you can really fine-tune your image and get that look you're trying to go for. And then you can even add on some noise reduction and really customize those with 2D and 3D noise reduction levels. And once you get that all sorted out, you can just go ahead and save those settings directly to the camera itself. One of the coolest features though, and Elgato's the first to do this on a webcam, you can screw on 49mm filters to the front, opening up the door to some really cool possibilities. I could legit make a video dedicated to just these filters, so let me know if that's something that you'd want. Let's talk about those filters. We have a few to cover. All right, so in this video, we're just going to be talking about filters. These little pieces of glass that you can screw onto the front of Facecam 4K to give you some different effects. Now, typically filters are used on full-size cameras, but Elgato had the thought, what if we put this on a webcam? And I'm here for it. First off, I want to preface this by saying huge thank you to Elgato for sending me all these different filters. I haven't even had a chance to open these up yet, so we're going to be checking these out for the first time together. And one of the things you'll notice is these filters aren't made by Elgato. This one, for example, is KNF, another KNF. Then we have WalkingWay, another KNF. And lastly, I'm not sure the brand of this one. It looks like it's unbranded, but there's a few different filters inside of here. And that's because Facecam 4K just uses 49mm threads. So you can easily take any 49mm filter and just screw it on the front of the lens. Let's start off with what I think will be the most popular filter, and that's a CPL filter that also comes with a magnetic lens cap. And you'll see that the quality in this thing is really nice. So it comes with these three different pieces. The first piece is this magnetic ring adapter, and this is the piece that actually screws onto the front of your camera lens. And this allows you to easily take the CPL filter, which is also magnetic, and just simply snap it right to the front of your camera lens. So it's really nice if you decide that you don't need it one day, you can just easily pop it right off. And then of course it comes with this magnetic lens cap as well. I really like this. It's really good build quality. And when you need that privacy, you can just snap it right onto the front of your camera lens. I actually had this same exact filter for one of my lenses, so it's cool to see this in a nice small form factor. All right, let's go ahead and screw this on. And as I'm screwing it on, you can see the monitors in the back kind of freaking out. And that's because a CPL filter is a circular polarizer. You can think of it kind of like polarized sunglasses, but for your camera lens. So this filter is going to deepen contrast, but most importantly, reduce surface reflections. So a really good example of this is if you focus on my computer back there on the floor. You can see the glare on the left panel, right? As I go and spin the CPL filter, if I get it just right, you'll see, boom, the glare is gone. This is just an example of how it can be used, but I think that a better use case would be if you wear glasses. If you notice that you constantly have reflections in your glasses, you can go ahead and pick up a CPL filter, adjust it just right, and then that glare should be gone, or at least significantly reduced. And then of course, this filter comes with that magnetic lens cap, which is just so nice. Next on the list, we have the KNF Black Diffusion filter. I can guarantee you that you've seen this filter before on social media. This is what gives that footage that sort of like glowy, dreamy vibe, especially around lights. And I've even heard of some people refer to these as beauty filters because it can really soften the light on your face. So this kit comes with a Black Diffusion 1/8 and then a Black Diffusion 1/4. It comes in the package screwed together, so yeah, you can totally stack these if you want. I think initially we're going to go ahead and just show off what the 1/8 looks like by itself. All right, so how's that looking? You might be able to see a little bit of a glow around this light back here. Again, this is just 1/8, so it's super, super minimal. If I replace it with a 1/4 Black Diffusion though, now we should be able to see just a little bit more of that glowy, dreamy effect. And of course, we got to see what happens if you stack them. It's going to look something like this. Now, it's not going to be a huge difference, and you really don't want this effect to be super overpowering or else it's just going to be distracting. But when you compare the no filter to the filter stack, for example, you can see a nice glow emitting from that light that's in my hand. Now, if you want an even stronger effect, you could go for like a black mist half or all the way up to like a black mist 1. I can't guarantee how this is going to look on Facecam 4K, but if you have any experience with this, definitely drop a comment down below because I'd love to hear how it looks. Next up, we have the WalkingWay Retro Soft Filter. I don't know what this is going to be. I'm going to assume it's going to be like a color tint. Okay, so that's one of the beauties of using filters like this. Like, you can see how much it completely changed the image, right? Hold up, this gave me a really good idea. I want to see what happens if we stack a diffusion filter on top of this retro filter. And you know what? We're going to go all the way. We're going to go with the full stack here with the 1/4 and the 1/8. Okay, so you can see See what happens when you fly too close to the sun and stack too many filters at once. Facecam 4K has a 90-degree field of view, so of course it's going to be able to see filters if you stack them too high. But if you really like the look of the lens stack, you can just zoom in Camera Hub. I think 115%. That looks pretty good right there. You don't see the edges of the filters anymore, and you get that really cool looking image. And that's what's so cool about the filter feature of Facecam 4K. If you find some cool filters or like combine filters in a way that no one else has, you could totally set yourself apart from the crowd. And with that being said, let's check out the star filters. These ones are really cool. Also, for anyone wondering what I'm recording in right now, I'm using 4K 30 with HDR enabled. And that's why my window and lights aren't overexposed. Okay, so this one came with a nice case. It's Velcro. Sweet. Let's see. And here we have the star 4, star 6, and lastly, star 8 filters. So let's screw on star 4. So it doesn't look like we have anything on here, right? If I turn my camera on my phone, that's pretty sweet, right? So I'm guessing you can see where the name star 4 came from. We got 4 streaks coming out of this one light here. Now in my room, this isn't going to make the most sense to use, but I think a really cool use case would be if you have like fairy lights in your room or Christmas tree lights in your room, then you're going to see this effect all over the place and it's going to look really, really sweet. Here's star 6, and I'm guessing you can already tell what's going to happen. We have 6 rays coming out of this one light. And lastly, of course, star 8. 8 streaks coming out of the one light. I'm curious what happens if you stack them. Oh, that looks sick. Pretty fun effect. Like I said, this is definitely something that would work better in a room that has like fairy lights or twinkle lights, something like that. Something where the light source is being pointed directly at the camera. And lastly, we have this big pack of filters. Also comes with a lens cap, which is nice. These are all varying degrees of close-up filters. So we have a +1, +2, +4, and +10. So here's close-up 1. I'm just going to hold it over the lens. Ooh, okay. That's actually a pretty big difference already. So focus right here on my Wavearm Pro. When I place a filter over it, you can see how far this zooms in, right? Pretty cool. So that's just +1. Like I said, we have +2, +4, and +10. So here's a little comparison between those different lenses, just so you can see how much of a different shot you can get with these different filters. Now for the +10, this is definitely going to be more like a macro filter. So you'd want to use this type of filter if you want to like get into a nice close shot. Like the amount of detail you can capture just by putting on this filter is pretty impressive. Of course, I don't really know how practical this would be in like a live stream setting. Maybe if you're building like miniatures, then I mean, yeah, I could totally see it coming in clutch. And just because you know I have to, what happens if we stack all these filters? Oh my God. I gotta like it. I gotta like it. Not gonna lie. Chat, I think this is it. This is the move. This is the best way to get full quality out of Facecam 4K. But man, look how close you can get to that. That's okay. All right. Okay, that's enough fun. All right, so there we have it. We just tested out a bunch of different filters. My desk is now a mess. I hope that shows off some of the cool things that you can do with the filters feature of Facecam 4K. I don't know if I already said it, but I'm gonna have all these filters listed down below in the description if you decide to pick some up. If you wanna pick up your own Facecam 4K, I'll have it listed down below in the description as well. And you can even use code DRIGSY at checkout to save yourself some money. But anyways, that does it. I'll see you on the next one.